Mayday, Alliance, calling all nations of the Alliance. The Horde has got me in their cages. They're on my ass, I repeat. They're on my ass. It's okay, I'm faking dead. I'm like a hunter. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. And as always, your host Hello, bringing you coverage, bringing you news, all that fun stuff. How do we even work these videos anymore nowadays? I have no idea what's going on. Anywho, you doing alright, editor? You're locked in today? I think he's locked in. He's doing a good job. I think I'm locked in too. As always, the Hydration Nation. We've downgraded to the smaller water bottles. We don't have a lot of gold, guys. We're kind of broke-ski, I'm not gonna lie. Your boy's sitting at 25 gold. It's hard knock life out here, right? Can a mage make us some water, please? I can't even afford a 24-pack. Oh my god. This is low-grade water, too. Listen. Lock it the fuck in! Phase 3 a couple days. You're pissing me off. Don't get bricked up in the chat. Much love to you. Hope everyone's doing alright. It's a Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. Every day is technically a Friday. Lock it in before I kiss you. Anywho, in today's video, we're going to go over a couple topics I want to discuss with you. A couple things that we're going to go into. First things first, as you see here on the screen already, one of the new world buffs that we're going to be basically getting is Favor of the Temple Explorer, whatever it is, the world buff, right? Increase your chance to strike a critical hit by 5%, increase spell damage by 65, and increase all stats by 8%. Basically a druid buff almost, but a little bit better. Getting a little juicy there. 120-minute duration. This whole thing is very beautiful. Love to see it. Stack that with DMF, and we're busting, you know what I'm saying? Lock it in, settle down. Of course, in Minecraft, family friendly. Let's go into the PvP sets now. So, spoiler alert, by the way, don't watch the video any further if you don't want to see any spoilers. But if you want to see what it's looking like right now, come on through to the other side, if you know what I'm talking about. However, so, for Warriors and Paladins, we got, this is what the set looks like, it seems to be like. Pretty cool looking, like a nice red, maybe a little goldish trim going on around it. Seems to benefit critical strike with all spells and attacks by 1%, and your chance to hit with all spells and attacks by 1%, with the 3-set bonus giving you 15 stam, which is really nice, and on top of already getting natural stamina from each piece, on top of the fact, if you get the whole set, you get plus 30 AP. I think this is awesome. I'm very excited about PvP sets because I think these type of sets to help you also get another way of getting gear playing the game if you're only a PvP player, if you're an open world player, or if you're just a PvE player in general. This is a really cool set piece to get, and all sets in general, so you can just stay on top of the game and always feel like you belong in the end game no matter what, because that's always been a problem in World of Warcraft, where people feel like they need to only play PvE to be relevant, or only have to lock it in for PvP and get that gear to be relevant in anything, and this gives a hybrid of both ways to be good in both options. I think this is pretty dope. I like the fact that they're adding more variety of PvP sets to get you into entry for, like, you know, PvE stuff in general. I think it's sick in both areas, PvP and PvE. So we have, yes, a Warrior Paladin base set. We have another Warrior Paladin base set as well, which basically another 1% for hit and all spells. It seems to just be a different look. I was looking at it a little bit, like looking at the Holberg here for the chest piece, and then looking at the plate armor here, and I don't see much of the difference. I mean, this is 15, 17 stam, and then this is 15, 17 stam, so I'm not too sure what's the massive differential for this one in particular, but I'm sure maybe in-game we will see further stats as we get to the official release of Phase 3, but I did see obviously something different here for the Knight Lieutenant's Imbued Plate set, which this is more for a healing, a Holy Paladin set, which is pretty cool. You get a 1% on all spells and attacks, which is nice, and overall better healing. So this is truly a Holy Paladin set, which is pretty awesome. And then for this one, it's a red variant, and this is more for the Shockadins, by the way. You are getting a 1%, more spell and attack, and you are getting increased magical damage and healing effects by 11 with the 15 stamina bonus, and of course 18 for the 6-set bonus. And on top of the Holy set, you get 33 for the 6-set and 15 with the stamina. So nice to see more stamina overall for these sets, especially really nice when we're getting involved in PvP, right? But just in anything in general, for sure. Shaman shamans, of course, getting their sets as well, up to 33, 15. So it seems like they're getting, like, this is the holy version of the resto shaman, alternative. And then you get the natural, healing through all the pieces of equipment, just like in every other pieces that we've seen as well. And this is actually really nice too. 15 increased speed for your Ghost Wolf ability. That's actually pretty fucking nuts. I'm kind of curious, is there any other differential besides just healing done for, paladins? It doesn't seem like there isn't. But mainly just stacking a lot of healing done, which is really nice overall. I think that's pretty juicy. But yes, let's further go into more shaman stuff. This is for more damage and healing done, so maybe this is more of the elemental shaman set, I would say. Correct me if I'm wrong, shamans. You can let me know in the comments below. But this does look pretty cool as well. And then you have 2 hunter sets. Oh, actually, no. Hunter and shaman, technically. So I like the flexibility that they are offering multiple classes to try multiple sets and see what works out for you. I think this is pretty cool. So hunters have the option to get this set as well, which will improve your chance to, by 1% for critical attack and spells. And minor increase to running and swimming speed. Really cool on the boots, actually. That's a built-in, basically, speed increase. Overall, really good stats. As you can see, 15 stam, 30 attack power for the 6-set bonus. I think that's pretty dope. We got the Knight Lieutenant's Mail as well, another Hunter Shaman piece. Let's see if it does anything different from what it's saying. Doesn't seem too much of a difference, besides a little bit better on the stats from what I'm seeing. I think that's really about it. They're actually pretty much the same, to be honest. So I would take it with a grain of salt of what we're seeing here as far as stats go. And then just know that this is the type of gear that we're going to be seeing, at least when we get into the phase in a couple days here. And then we got mainly Hunter gear here, which is Bloodguard's Chain. I'm trying to see if there's any difference besides just the 1% increase in critical attack. Which spells and attacks. Nope, that's basically it. And we got another Knight Lieutenant's Chain. Digging a little deep here. Nothing there. So let's go into the Rogue and Druids. The Rogue Druid Guard set looks pretty interesting. I would say it looks decent compared to the best. I like the shoulders, however. The color's not too bad overall. Increase your chance to dodge and attack by 1%. Plus 10 attack power and chance to hit with all spells and attacks by 1%, which is pretty juicy. Increase your effective stealth level by 1. Wow. More attack power overall. And then just, crit base ratings, chance to dodge. So there is like built-in tank, stats overall for when it comes to chance to dodge attacks. So that would help out rogue tanks a lot as well. So very interesting. We got another Knight Lieutenant's leather set as well. Looking if there's any differentials here from what I'm seeing. Doesn't seem anything too crazy. This is primarily Druids. Bloodguard's Crackling Leather. Ooh. Very nice. Okay, so damage and healing done. Alright, so maybe this is more for the Boomkins, I'm wondering. Or maybe just the Resto Druid. But this does look pretty cool, though. That is overall. Okay, there's a kind of like a greenish, maybe I can't tell that color. Is that like a greenish, aquarine? Whatever that color is called. However, it looks kind of cool. I like it. Not too bad. This is mainly, okay, so this is mainly Resto Druid. This is mainly Resto Druid, because this is mainly healing done. And then plus you get 33 healing. So basically what I'm seeing is a lot of similarities for a lot of these sets are sharing a lot of the same increase of a specific attribute, just with different respectable classes and the respectable stats per those class, right? So pretty cool stuff. Knight Lieutenant's Crackling Leather. This is a hybrid. Increased chance to get critical strike spells attacks by 1, and damage and healing up to 11. And then it does, for a 6 set, it gives you up to 18 overall. Very interesting. And then Knight Lieutenant's Restored Leather. Wow, Druids get a lot of sets. Holy shit. There's a lot of things they are giving Druids. So this is pretty interesting, because it seems like Druids can mix in with some of the rogue stuff, too. Which I like that. It's like a hybrid of trying other, people's gear overall. Bloodguard's Dreadweave, which I think, personally, this is the most drippiest out of all of them. And I have to say it from a Paladin. Don't get me wrong. I think, the Paladin set, the Horn one, especially for the Shocking, I think that one looks sick. But this is just the drippiest one. I mean, look at the gloves. Look at the gloves to shoulders. And then you got the top hat. What are you, the Undertaker? This is sick. I will be getting this on my mage for sure. Especially when doing PvP. This is going to be awesome. Overall, though, increase your damage and healing done. And then we're going to be getting your, typical crit 1% spells and attacks. And then healing and effects up to 19. With the 6 set bonus being heals and effects of, magical spells and heals up to 18. We got the Knight Lieutenant's version of this, the Dreadweave. pretty similar around the board. Like I said, it looks like they're not really showing too much in-depth information on where you can see the differential of the stats. Now, whether maybe this is some of the stuff you get through STV or the Emerald, you know, the new reputation. However, it is pretty cool that we're getting these types of sets. We get the Bloodguard Satin, which is a different color overall pattern. This is more for the healing, so up to 31, up to 33. So this would be mainly for healers, which is actually pretty interesting that Warlocks can go for this type of gear. I don't know, wouldn't know why you would want that, but I would say definitely for mages and priests, this is what you would be aiming for if you're doing for mainly just healing overall. And then Knight Lieutenant Satin for the last one, another healing base set, mainly for priests and mages overall. So pretty cool stuff. I dig it. What do you guys think about all that overall that we talked about, going over each piece? I think it's pretty awesome that classes can mix around with different pieces of gear. I like the flexibility in trying stuff out, and that's exactly what they did. You know, like a Arathi Basin base gear where you can mix up your different sets and try different things out over there. I'm digging the whole option of having multiple viable pieces of gear options for your character overall. Now, for you know, item appearances, data mining phase 3, we have a lot of different gear pieces that were shown. Overall, what we're gonna see ahead when it comes to raid time, and to be honest, all of it does look pretty cool. I was discussing some of these stuff with my friends, and I was looking around in the Paladin Discord about this, and it's pretty interesting. A lot of the pieces of gear people think are gonna be really good. For paladins, but just a lot of overall classes in general. I think it's pretty sick that they're adding this gun axe. This is nuts. Pretty interesting option to have something that 3.40 swing speed, 18 strength, 15 stam, and the fact that you get to do damage from range, like that's a third option from range. If I'm looking at it from a paladin's perspective, you know, you have your exorcism. If you're doing shocking, you're gonna be doing your holy shock, and now you get another option with the fact that you get a gun axe, you know, that can do damage up close. Pretty damn good overall stats, not too bad. I would say not too shabby at all, and the fact that it has an on usability yet for only a 1-minute cooldown. I think it's pretty interesting, honestly. And it has damage over time, 75 damage over 10 seconds. Pretty cool. I actually like it. I looked at both of these for Shamans, Corrupted Smashbringer. That's going to be pretty nuts. You know, 3.60, insane. But the Whisper is not a bad, you know, simple option. You know, it's a decent mace, you know, two-hand mace. And if, you know, if you want to go for something pretty solid, this is not too bad. But where the juice comes through, the true juice, the things that matter, is what you're seeing right here in front of us. Parasomnia. Oh my goodness. And we're going to dive a little bit more into Parasomnia in a second with the Blood Moon PvP reports. But look at this. Tale of Arachnus. This is basically Obsidian Edgeblade. Okay, from Molten Core. It is the same exact stats. 264 plus 8, 42 strength. This is fucking Obsidian Edgeblade. And if that is what I think it is, and this is what it really is, the stats, no bullshit, right? This goes to tell you that, and when we get to Molten Core, the amount of rework that's going to happen for different items and different raids is only going to scale higher. Now, what does that mean for bosses? They might scale higher too. But I like this because it's kind of throwing us out of the loop of not knowing where the future lies with a lot of these different raids with different stat items and priorities and what items you used to go for back in the day in vanilla or classic era. And I like the fact that there's a change up, a switch up in the current shift of things where it's not like, okay, the meta is just to go for, you know, onslaught girdle. The meta is just to go for, you know, a specific, you know, based item in MC. You know what I mean? I think this is really cool stuff, and I like the fact that, you know, things are getting changed up now. Therefore, the future is not to like, okay, we already know what to expect. You know, like no, we have no idea what the fuck's gonna happen in Molten Core when that comes. And now for the fact that a weapon like this is as equal to Obsidian Edge Blade, the future's the limit for Sodom. What items are going to get reworked and their properties getting pushed to a new level, you know, it's going to be pretty damn interesting. So Really cool stuff. Then we have, Blade Master's Fury, which is a 3.0 base two-hand sword, but attack up to 4 enemies within 8 yards, causing weapon damage to each enemy, and reset the cooldown of your Whirlwind ability. So this is definitely warrior favored weapon right here. Really sick looking sword. And then a very juicy sword, Chieftain's Bane at 3.50, 35 strength, improve your chance to get critical strikes with all spells, and attacks by 1%. This is a really nice sword overall. I think it's pretty sick. I like the fact that it's even a little bit slower than Parasomnia, but I like what I'm looking at with Parasomnia overall. And also the Scythe of Dream. I'm going to be honest with you. That's a badass pole arm, dude. I'm going to give it a buck. That is sick. That is sick as shit, and I like it. I like what I'm looking at. Overall, I love what I'm seeing with all these different unique looking items. I think they're all pretty sick as well. Just really dope looking items. I like the fact that there is, a certain, vibe to them, a certain feeling and colorization overall. I always like the way these items look in classic in general, just the way classic I've always was a sucker for it, and I like the fact that they're adding more things that match obviously phase 3 with Sunken Temple and stuff like that, and overall just adding just cool stuff to the game. I'm just pretty excited. I just guess what I'm trying to say. Let me not ramble on about that shit. So lock it in into what I wanted to talk about with Blood Moon, right? So Blood Moon overall, there's a lot of stuff that's coming for a lot of classes. Druids are getting a new mace, new offhands, and a trinket. Hunters are getting a new bow and a new crossbow. Mages are only getting rings. Unfortunately, no wands or nothing. I'm not too sure what's going on there, but I'm sure, more mages will get better stuff as they dig deeper into the raid. And obviously, I believe there is an epic staff there in the raid, which actually looks pretty sick, and some wand options. But mages are basically just getting better rings overall. And I'm actually curious if, the meta would be to stack your previous Blood Moon ring with the new Blood Moon ring, this where you get more of a specific type of Fire, Frost, or Arcane damage, or it would be to get probably something within Raid overall to give you a better ring there, or probably having the Epic from at the end of Gnome probably still being really good too. But depends, we'll see what happens. I'm sure casters will find a way and figure out what their best in slot rings are. Paladins overall, we're eating good. It's always amazing to eat at the table. Basically the head of the table. Love it. It feels great on some no Roman Reigns shit. However, Bloodlight Reverence, we get, the Sanduin Saber, not the Shaber. Settle down and speak properly, Tello. However, this Libram is actually, I'm not going to lie, the Libram's what I'm most excited about. I think the sword is absolutely sick. The sword is dope, and I like it. But that Libram, 36 AP when fighting Dragonkin, dude, we already have 2 good Librams from the first raid and now the second raid. You're giving us a 3rd good one? This is juicy. Keep giving us the books. I'll be a library person. I'll work the shift. I'll help. I'm closed at 7, open at 11. Thank you very much. But yeah, this is pretty dope stuff. I love the way these swords and the Librams are, giving us this extra, damage boost against Dragonkin. I love this type of stuff. I love what I was trying to say before. I love the way these swords look. Back to this for a second. These 2 swords in general, or these all of them, they all look great. But this sword does look sick overall. It looks absolutely nutty. I think the fact that they're giving us these badass looking swords, I'm very grateful for it. I can't complain. As a paladin, I can't complain. I know some classes might be like, damn, I wish we had some drippy shit. I hate to say it, I'm sorry for you, but re-roll a paladin, lock it in. However, priest, blood harvest items, seal of the sacrifice, shouty band of victory, more shadow spells effects by 17, healing done by 20, rogue blood harvest. You guys actually get a sword, which is pretty dope, one-hand sword that also has a built-in run speed of 40% for 10 seconds, based off already how annoying rogues are in PvP with their sprints. Now you're giving them something that can make them even faster. Rogues are going to be fast as fuck, boy. So as usual, much love to those amigos over there. But pretty dope. You have the sword, you get the dagger, really nice stuff. Shamans, you guys are eating good as usual. You're eating a little too good. I need you to settle the fuck down. However, yes, you got the corrupted Smashbringer. You get the relic for your flame shock spell by 5 yards, which is actually nuts, and for the rest of shamans as well. A lot of crazy stuff. Warlocks sticking with the ring. Seems like you guys are getting basically the mage treatment. I would say also the caster treatment in general. There is no wands or anything for you guys, which I do wish they do. Maybe even next phase or later on within this phase. Maybe some weapon-based stuff, or your stuff is just simply too good and it's just within raid itself. So that makes sense. Warrior Blood Harvest items. We have Wall of Whisperers, a badass shield. Holy shit. When struck by a harmful spell, the caster of that spell has a 5% chance to be silenced for 3 seconds. Really cool. And has a 5% proc chance. Pretty dope. You also get the Parasomnia. You can go for this sword as well, which is really nice. And a thrown weapon hurls the spear at the target, immobilizing them for 5 seconds. So giving you options to silence somebody and immobilize them. I kind of like that. It's pretty interesting overall. Very intriguing, and I hope warriors get more love. I kind of want to see what the shield looks like. Is there a way the shield... Oh, shit! That actually looks sick. If those eyes are glowing in-game, that looks sick. Pretty dope stuff. Now, for Dark Moon Fair trinkets overall, if you guys haven't been grinding Dark Moon Fair, I think Dark Moon Fair is one of the better ways to make some good money, especially gold. I went over this in the past on my gold guides, where Dark Moon Fair, where I was selling the whirring bronze gizmos, I believe. I was selling those for like a lot of money and making a good amount of gold. So I think Dark Moon Fair stuff is always a great opportunity to make yourself massive bank. However, I do think the fact that they're adding new items to Dark Moon Fair is pretty intriguing. New trinkets overall. So we have something here with the Overgrowth Dark Moon card, where chance on successful heal to restore 8 energy, 1 mana, or 4 rage, which is actually pretty nice overall. And I actually think if you had, like, you know, something like this, where, like, if you're a warrior tank, and if warrior tanks are more better, and then you have a priest or somebody, you know, constantly healing you, now you're, you know, if you're getting healed, a chance on heal to restore 4 rage, that's a pretty big deal for a warrior in particular. So it's actually really nice, and I think this is something that I like overall, just in trinkets in general. The fact that, you know, you're generating this rage, you are constantly getting more rage to use more of your burst abilities. Really good thing for rage-based classes overall, right? So Decay, we have spells and attacks sometimes leech 0 health from the target and apply a stack of decay. When decay reaches 5 stacks, the target takes 0 damage. Now, I'm not sure why it's saying 0 damage. I'm wondering if it's based off a specific type of damage, or maybe this is a typo. However, it does sound pretty interesting. And I'm intrigued to see what this would be like within PvE or PvP. Same thing with Sandstorm. It does say 0 nature-based damage. So another thing, yet again, which we are not too sure of. I'm very curious how this would work out as well. Followed by the lastly, Torment, which is another based ability. And it seems like these items all begin a specific type of quest to do. So very interesting stuff overall. And I'm looking forward to the future of all these really cool, fun goodies to play around with, right? And then finally, we go into the last topic of the day. Now, it seems like the community right now is very excited for Phase 3, but there is some concerns overall, and it seems like Agron has responded to a couple of these individuals. We're going to go over it through the Twitter post, and then let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and we go from there. However, let's scroll it down, and let's talk about it. So, from Hellnolf, if I believe I said that correctly, he responded to, or he posted to Agron, basically saying, it really feels like you guys dropped the ball with Phase 3 announcement. A lot of players like to go hard the first few days, and to do that, need to take a leave from work. Given 1 week's notice of content launch doesn't give people much time to make plans. And then Agron replied, honestly, I agree with you. We'd like to do at least 2 weeks, but it wasn't possible this time for a myriad of reasons. We'll try and do better for future phases to get the info out sooner. Which I must say, I have to agree to that extent. There's nothing wrong with what this individual said at all, because it is true. It was very short notice, and we were in the dark about it. It would have been nice if they said, okay, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna have the phase release, and I'm looking at my calendar right now, maybe April 10th, or April or something, we're planning on having a release between April 10th, April 14th, or some shit like that, giving people a little bit of leadway so they can get more gold, grind up, do what they have to do, finish off some Milmer runs for their alts or whatever, and then go from there. So they kind of just announced it out the blue, so I totally understand it, but I am just happy at least we have news. So it's like not the most major issue in the world, but at the same time, it is a convenience thing, so no problem with that. Let's go further into class tuning questions, which is, obviously a big one. So from Dipso, you need to look at shamans, man. Absolutely insane they haven't been nerfed yet. There are some class adjustments, this was Agron's response, coming within the patch. To set expectations when the next phase is close is unlikely we'll done a ton of tuning. It's just not good use of development time to keep doing a bunch of class tuning when a new phase and a complete meta upheaval. Hold on, let's actually show more and go into this. Where he said, sorry, apologies for this, guys. When a bunch of new phase, here we go. It's just not as good a use of development time to keep doing a bunch of class tuning when a new phase and a complete meta upheaval is imminent. And then here we go. And Dipso said, I get and agree, but there's just some crazy AP scaling going on with the enhanced shamans that will only become more insane when they get the mental dexterity rune. I trust you guys because you've been on point so far. The only other faction equivalent, Pally, is just sad in comparison. Yeah, for sure. Sit tight for more info. This is what Agron basically responded with. Now, that is true. I really do feel like shamans right now are completely busted. The fact that they have the top two specs on the top 3 to 5 DPS in the entire game is absolutely fucking insane. I do think they deserve, you know, a nerf, which is understandable, but I don't think they deserve to get nuked to the ground. So like, there has to be this way where we can find to make a middle ground for all classes in general, and until we find that middle ground, everybody, no matter what, is always going to complain about something. It is just the way of the nature of things. If somebody's ahead of anybody in the pack, somebody in the pack is going to get either jealous or upset with that, or they're going to think that dev is favoring it. It's just the way things work, right? It happens all the time. But I do think, yeah, when it comes to like shamans, they are just better paladins in all natural ways. And I love fighting them in open world, but it is fucking nuts when they start one-shotting people. It's kind of insane. And then we got McGriffith093. When can we expect class tuning? I mean, the news phase launches next week, and with it, the meta will be completely upended, so trying to tweak things now doesn't seem like a particularly good use of time. And I have to agree with Agron here right now, too, because it is more important to focus on the game overall when it comes to making sure that content is working. There's no issues with the raid, there's no issues with the vendors, there's no issues with STV in general and the reworks that they're doing there, making sure the nightmare incursions and the portals are working as intended, and there's no exploits going on with that, because you know people will find ways to exploit shit as well, and making sure that the game stability overall is fucking good, you know, and that's just the truth of things. So I actually appreciate the efforts of the devs of what they're doing. I do think class balancing will come in time and things of tuning will work, but we just have to wait for that, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'd rather have a game that's working than a game that is not working, and a game that is supposed to be, you know, working with good intentions in general. So I'd rather just wait for it. It's not a big ordeal. It's not the worst thing in the world. Things could be worse, and you know, we just go from there, and just, you know, we'll see what happens with the phase changes, right? We already read that one already. Skill conflicts. Let's see this one, and we got to open up this one right here. From Michael Good. Any chance you can verify whether or not the Warrior Rune's Gladiator stance and Devastate will synergize with each other? As it currently reads, Devastate requires a defensive stance, and that's unfortunately doesn't work together with obviously what he's basically getting after, the Gladiator stance. He's worried about the conflict of both stances. But Agron basically says Devastate will work in Glad stance for sure, which is really good because Devastate is a main tanking ability for Warriors overall, for not having to use Under Armor. You just use Devastate, you stack it up. It is really good usage of an ability, and I really hope prop-based tanking skyrockets for Warriors, because I would like to see prop-based Warriors up on the charts and see how good they can pop off. I know a lot of Warriors, deep armor Warriors, inferior Warriors just want more damaging-based things, and at the end of the day, I agree with them. I do want to see Warriors pop off, and I think in time there's gonna come that light where Warriors are gonna be fucking nuking, and people are gonna be happy about that. But then again, when that happens, just like I said before, whenever one class does good, a lot of other people start hating. It's just a way of natural order of things. So hopefully we find some type of middle ground of things to make all classes great, right? So let's talk about Himi Hendrix. Okay, Agron. Quick question. About the upcoming Phase 3 Druid Rune, Gore, it states that Lacerate will lower the cooldown of Mangle. But as of right now, we can't use Lacerate and Mangle at the same time. Does this mean that Bear tanks will have an option of using both? And then Agron replies, yeah, I hear you. When we were finalizing runes before Phase 1 launched last year, we moved a lot of things around, and Lacerate and Mangle's placement was just honestly pretty much an oversight. So that's what he's getting at. It's a tricky fix at the moment, but it's something we are investigating solutions to. Hopefully we could talk about it more soon. So it looks like they are trying to fix maybe placements of specific styles of abilities, runes, to make it compensate better for their plans with you know, the new Druid rune Gore overall for Druids in general. And I think this is a good thing that they are at least considering these things and looking into these options, because it is very important to place specific runes and specific abilities in certain different places to increase the class efficiency overall and benefit the class to operate and run better. Like, this is what I've been saying too, especially, for paladins. I really think, when it comes to the chest slot room for paladins, I think, obviously I talked about like holy paladins having limited options, like something should be there. I've also talked about the fact that Horn of Lordanen is not a really good, that it needs rework and needs a buff. I'm not saying people who use it are bad or anything, but I think that item can maybe go somewhere else, or if there's more bang for its buck. There's a lot of other runes, of course, that can be moved around in different places to compensate for different things. But overall, I'm sure a lot of other classes have these issues and complaints too. So it's a good thing that at least the team of Blizzard and Season Discovery is looking into that, and this is something that we can discuss and talk about. And then finally, actually no, not finally, PvP currency concerns. The Angry Tacos. I would love some tacos right now. Oh my gosh, with some lime. Oh, anywho, with the new currency coming from Blood Moon at 50, how will we get the current coins in Phase 3? I'm still saving up for the Raptor mount. Will I still be able to earn the coins for the mount after the patch? Will there be a way to convert Phase 2 coins to Phase 3 coins? And then Agron responds, you could trade new coins down to old ones for like a 1-for-1 trade. Getting the mount is totally still doable. So anybody worried about Phase 2 stuff or anything going on with Blood Moon event coins in Phase 2, you're totally fine to convert Phase 3 into Phase 2 stuff. You will be chilling. Do not stress that out. And then class racials. I think this is the final one. From Galerio, if I said that correct, Galerio. Okay, I'm curious if other racials will be available to all races like weapon skill. Humans only had weapon skill to stand out after 60, having perception, and plus 10 spirit seems to be a bit lackluster. Let's look and deep dive a little bit more into this, shall we? Agar responded, I've had 3 people message me something similar today, and I'm honestly struggling to grasp the concern. Since I'm assuming we're talking about PvE, the rep bonus is really impactful and is a huge time saver. Humans have been the undisputed king for many in Melee, all vanilla forever. I think it's okay to spread the love a bit for seasonal content. We said from the very start that humans and orcs wouldn't be the default choice for PvE. And to be honest, I'm going to keep it a buck with you. I like that decision, because I think at the end of the day, Season of Discovery is meant to be trying different things and stop keeping things specifically tied to only being vanilla. I think it's fine that you keep the world in this, obviously we're playing World of Warcraft because we've all loved vanilla. We've all loved, even classic era. We've enjoyed our time there, private servers or whatever you've been doing. But it's fine to try these things within Season of Discovery. It's a seasonal server to test many new things, whether people like it or people don't. It's completely up to you to enjoy what's going on, whether it's good or bad. But overall, I appreciate them taking chances, taking risks, taking shots, and if it lands, it lands, like I mentioned before. So I think it's cool that they are doing this, messing around with the racials, messing around with the passives. Maybe some people might say, oh, it doesn't feel like the way it used to. Well, brother, if you can't evolve with the times, that's on you, homie. That is completely on you. This is new stuff. They're giving it a chance, and the game still has its feel. I still feel like when I'm playing this, even Season Discovery right now, regardless of the runes, right? I still feel the classic feel. I still feel the community feel. Like, it hasn't gone away. Maybe for some people it did, but for me, brother, it hasn't. And that's just my personal opinion. Nothing on you guys whatsoever, Much love to all of you, of course. However, that's about it. Lock it in. That's today's video, all right? You're looking at the shawl right now, and you're probably like, damn, this guy looks cozy as shit. You know why? Because I am. Them damn hordes snuck me with a backstab earlier. Them sons of bitches. I don't know who got me, but you're on high alert. You best be watching your back. You best believe it. And I had actually a rogue today. Last thing I'll say to end this video. I had a rogue today and a hunter try fucking with me around, where they fucking with me? Around the Alterac Mountain? Or like going towards Scholar Monastery. Because I was fishing for greater sagefish around that area. They tried messing with me. And your boy hodged the shit out of them. Repent. Uppercut. Left hook. Go to sleep. Up his you-know-what. Settle down. Lock it in. However, much love, amigos. I'll catch you on the next one. And keep on keeping on as usual. And, peace out. That was a good video, right? I think I did alright. That was not too bad. Not too bad. I'll kiss you. You better end the fucking video or I'll shoot. Where do you even click the button? What do you mean I gotta do it myself? Peace.